So folks, we want to know if you can hear us all. If you can find the questions tool in the GoToWebinar software, you can type us a little note and just let us know that you can hear us and see our screen. We're also just waiting on a few more attendees, so we're in a little bit of a holding pattern here. Thanks for your patience.
Okay, excellent. It looks like everyone has confirmed audio and visual, so we'll go ahead and get started. So we are InfraScale. We do operate two entities, SOS Online Backup and FileLocker. So first we're going to start with a little bit about SOS Online Backup. We'll talk about the opportunity in selling online backup in your business. We'll look at our SOS partner programs because we do have some new programs and some new features that have recently come out. We'll look at our data centers, our hosting options, and how you can control your online backups with the dashboard, and how you can use our dashboard to maximize your value as an MSP. And of course, while we go through the presentation, please do not be shy to ask questions. We will always stop and answer them, or answer them at the end of the presentation. So first, let me tell you a little bit about SOS Online Backup. We are InfraScale. SOS Online Backup is one of our products, and we are based in Los Angeles, California. We operate data centers worldwide on 5 continents. We've been in business in the United States since 2006. The company was really started by Ken and his dorm room in 2001. We have over 1 million devices backed up and over 1,000 MSPs worldwide. We have 100 employees in Los Angeles, Chennai, and Kiev. So now that you know a bit about us, let's talk a little bit about the opportunity that we can offer you in your business. And that is the opportunity to sell online backup. So I imagine that many of you on the line are already selling some sort of maybe antivirus, or maybe you're selling hardware maintenance or something similar to that to your customers. And presumably some of you on the line have got customers that are businesses and customers that are consumers. If you would type in the chat, let me know who you've got as customers. That would be excellent. It would be very informative for us. There are several technology trends that are propelling online backup adoption. One new one that's come to light in the last 12 months or so is BYOD, bring your own device. Many businesses have or are allowing their employees to bring their own devices to work, and of course then they're using it for work information. Maybe there's customer data on there. They need to be able to back it up. So a flexible online backup solution that allows such a thing is critical. The technical sophistication of the population has improved, so more people are using those devices. They understand that data on them is valuable. And to the last point, we are increasing the amount of data that we are creating and the size of data that we're creating. And finally, it's so much cheaper to put it in the cloud than it used to be. Our storage costs have decreased over time for everyone around the world, so it's much more cost efficient to put it there. An analyst firm called IDC, which you may be familiar with, has confirmed massive adoption of online backup. 69% of businesses are evaluating online backup now. So for those of you that are intending on selling to businesses, this is an excellent statistic for you to keep in mind.
And let me just jump in here and say we've got a relatively small audience this morning, so it's a good opportunity for this to be as interactive as possible. So a few of you have already found the questions tool, Alex and Luis and Gabor, I hope I'm saying that right. Tell us what you want to get out of today's webinar. So I've got some questions for you all. What kind of business are you? Do you consider yourselves MSPs today, or are you aspiring to become an MSP? That's one question I've got to help us tailor the content. And the second is, are you currently selling backup services to your clients? You know, if yes, what sort of backup? Tape, disk, cloud backup, potentially. And throughout the webinar, just ask as many questions as you want. These things really are far more entertaining for everybody concerned. If you know, if they're interactive, and with a small group like this, we can do that. So Alex has responded and said he's an MSP. That's awesome, Alex. What are you selling backup services today, and if so, what type of backup services? And while Alex is pondering on that, I'll let Shaylin go to the next slide.
All right, Alex, we look forward to hearing from you. So what are the new SOS partner programs? If you had looked into us in the past, you probably would have heard us talking about something like SOS Server Save 5, 10, 15, 20. Things are different now, and I think that they're much more flexible, so I think you will like it. We have 3 types of programs in which you could enter. One is SMB partner, second is mid-market partner, and third is enterprise partner. And I will highlight the differences very quickly. The SMB Partner Package comes with our Online Backup Recovery Manager 5.7 product. This product allows you to do Exchange 2010 backup as well as Exchange granular recovery. And soon, at the beginning of April, it will also allow you to do SQL backup. And this server backup, basic server backup, can be done without a bare metal image. However, if you do need bare metal backup and recovery, you can get that in the mid-market partner program. It starts with 5 server licenses and 1 terabyte, and of course includes all of the same lovely things that the SMB Partner Package does. Third, we've got the Enterprise Partner Program. So this starts with 8 terabytes of storage as opposed to the other 2, which start with 1 terabyte, and it includes bare metal backup and recovery. After you launch in one of our programs, you'll be able to add bare metal image backup licenses and terabytes as you need. So once you're in a program, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily in that program forever and ever. You can modify your program as you go on. So this slide just highlights more of the differences between the programs. I do want to mention that they all include storage, they all include Exchange granular recovery, and rebrandable PC and Mac applications. And Derek will show you later on in the webinar how you can do that rebranding inside the partner dashboard. Scott and Alex both say that they are MSPs selling SOS right now. Well, that's excellent. We're very glad to have you on board. Please do let us know if you have any questions about the program throughout. I'm curious to know how long you've been a partner.
And I'm curious to know what you guys want to get out of today's webinar. So again, just using this as a little micro forum for me to understand our partner community better. What's bringing you to today's webinar, guys? Are you looking to learn just more about the marketing spiel side of things? Are you interested in the tech demo piece of things? Because there are a lot of other training events and resources going on. So depending upon what you're looking to get out of today, we may have even more sessions that you can attend later this week and next week.
Luis has a great question. Can the data stay in Canada only? Yes, Luis, it absolutely can. All you need to do is let your partner specialist know that that is what you require.
And that applies to all the other data centers. So if you're joining us today from the United Kingdom or from Canada or Australia or even South Africa, then you can specify the sovereign data center, quote unquote, that your customers will be routed to.
And Alex is looking for marketing tools, and Scott wants to know how to better position SOS versus other online backup services. We can definitely talk about that, and I will highlight quickly, because I unfortunately don't have a slide on it, I'll highlight quickly the biggest difference. You will be able to offer your customers the most value in the fact that we offer unlimited versioning and unlimited archiving. Most other services limit that or have some sort of parameters around it. We do not. We also offer unlimited endpoint backup. So you will not have to eventually nickel and dime your customers based on the amount of endpoints that they add into the program. You can create easy to understand and scalable pricing in order to reflect what we've offered you, which is unlimited endpoint backup. So no need to finagle really creative pricing based on the fact that your provider, us, is going to charge you more and more based on the endpoints you have. That's simply not the case. So that's the number one cleanest and clearest thing I can give you about how we differentiate. Additionally, our new version 5.7 Online Backup and Recovery Manager product does include some native backup for Exchange 2010 and soon for SQL Server. That's really attractive to a lot of businesses out there to be able to back up their servers without having to purchase a bare metal image license.
Well, and just at a sort of a higher level, the value proposition is that it's one platform for all of your devices, one ring to rule them all is sort of the joke that the nerdier members of the companies make, and I regard myself as the chief nerd here at the company, so I'm allowed to say that. But specifically the value proposition is that you've got one platform, one single pane of glass, one management interface to back up the servers, whether they're database servers, file servers, or email servers, endpoints, whether they're laptops or desktops, Macs or PCs, mobile devices, iPhones, Androids. So there is no other platform on the market that actually gives you that totality of source data coverage, if you will. And so whilst that's a little bit academic, it really means one purchase for your customers, one very easy to understand product, one solution from you, their partner and managed service provider, to protect all their data no matter where it's sitting.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ken. That was excellent. Rick has a question.
Thanks for the affirmation.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I'm here for. Rick says, we're mostly concerned with solutions that have been determined to be HIPAA compliant. So just to be clear, online backup solutions, specifically ours, because of the UltraSafe component, will allow a company to be HIPAA compliant, but the solution itself is not HIPAA compliant, but it enables HIPAA compliance. Hopefully that makes sense. So our solution does do that because of the UltraSafe feature, and the UltraSafe feature is a unique password identifier that is effectively not recoverable by anybody else. So when something is in the cloud, it's in the cloud, and it cannot be modified except by the person who initially put it into the cloud.
So in short, Rick, the solution is HIPAA compliant, and I think an important addendum is we have a lot of partners who only sell our platform to businesses who require HIPAA compliance.
Yeah.
So we have partners who just sell to doctors, just sell to dentists, offices, etc. So if you're looking specifically for a solution as part of a HIPAA compliance framework, then you're at the right webinar.
Absolutely. So a bit about our data centers. We do have 11 global points of presence. We have data centers in London, Toronto, Los Angeles, Houston, Dallas, Johannesburg, and Melbourne. So whichever one you need to be backed up to, you just let your partner specialist know, and that can happen. We offer another option, which is private cloud hosting should you want it. So if you do have your own cloud, maybe you are an ISP or maybe a telecom provider, and you have your own data center and you want to host online backup there, you can certainly do that with our solution. There are a number of reasons why you might want to do this. You might want to create a point-to-point network, you might want to throttle upload speed, or you might want to decrease or optimize the cost of your internet connection. Hosting in your own private cloud can help you with all these things, and possibly some more that are unique to your business. Is that something that anybody on the line is interested in? Because we can certainly spend some more time talking about it if you are.
Or another way to skin the cat would be, are you currently hosting services for your clients today? So is there anybody on the line who's currently doing the hosting for services that they're providing to their customers? For anything, SharePoint, telephony, email. Gabor says no.
Looks like maybe not anybody on the line. That's okay. That is why we offer data centers on 5 continents for you.
Louis is doing web hosting. Scott's hosting some services, although he doesn't say what. Okay. So private cloud may be interesting to those of you who are already doing your own hosting. We have a turnkey solution where you can just run it off our global grid. But with private cloud, you can take some of that margin back and you can run it on your own infrastructure if you've already got infrastructure in place. Doesn't usually make economic sense if you've got to go and acquire it, because we can generally do it a lot cheaper than you can and pass it through to you. But if you've got latent capacity, either on the network side or on the storage side, the private cloud option might be interesting to you.
It also helps dramatically with data seeding. So if you have clients with a large amount of data, being able to run what we call a PMU, it's our data seeding service. You can look that up in our knowledge base, make that a lot faster. And it also gives you the ability to do a much quicker restore if you can restore from the local network and then take it to your customers.
And one more question as a follow-up to that. Do any of you have what I consider enterprise customers? So do you have any customers with more than 1,000 nodes? Is there anybody on the line in that sort of situation? I'm just going to pick on some people. Scott, Lewis, Gabor, do you guys have any enterprise? Okay, so it's no's. Okay. Right, well then I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I'll throw it out there. If you did have a large customer, then they might in fact want to set up a private cloud environment themselves, in which case you wouldn't be using our private cloud solution and running it in your data center, but you could consult with and help and sell services to your customer as well as product and enable them to set it up. So tuck that into the back of your mind for the future when you do have such customers.
All right, let's talk a bit more about the partner dashboard. As Ken mentioned, this is the one ring to rule them all. Hopefully I'm repeating that correctly, not being as much of a nerd myself.
Have you not seen Lord of the Rings?
I actually haven't, no.
I suspect if you poll the audience, you'll have a 100% hit rate on that particular
Will I? I'm gonna poll the audience. How many on the line today have seen Lord of the Rings?
How many have read the book?
Read book and seen. I'm just going to pretend that people are responding to my question. Okay. Both multiple times. Okay.
Excellent.
Thanks, guys. Luis says question mark, as if nobody should ever go without seeing Lord of the Rings. I've done it wrong. I know my homework for today. All right. So the partner dashboard is the one ring to rule them all. So you can do tons and tons of things on this dashboard, and Derek is going to take you through a more detailed demo. But I want to highlight some things that are really important for you to know when you're considering using this to manage your online backup business. And for those of you that are already partners, you've probably seen this. Maybe you're looking for more info on it. So here you go. You can monitor activity. You'll be able to verify completed backups, backups at risk, and report on these activities. You can actually download Excel spreadsheets of all these activities in case your customer wanted to know what was going on or you wanted to analyze it perhaps. You can do complete account management from this one pane of glass. You can create, delete, change login information, and much more. You can change storage quotas, etc. You can assign bare metal backup licenses. If you have one customer that maybe doesn't want it anymore, you could reassign a license and make sure that you make the most of them. You can access downloads and control branding here, and access the Partner Resource Center. So the Partner Resource Center is an excellent area for you to get marketing materials. So for those of you online that were asking questions about marketing tools, I think that was Alex. Definitely go and check out the Partner Resource Center when you have a moment. You will find a lot of good information in there that you can put to use, including email templates. And that's accessible right here in the support section of your partner dashboard. So let's talk more about how you can use the partner dashboard to maximize your value as an MSP. It will be your job to be watching things that your customers cannot watch and do not have time to monitor or do not have the expertise to monitor, but you do. So you could be monitoring account usage and increase storage quotas for them when needed so they never potentially run out of storage. You can download reports on this account usage as well. You can monitor activity, of course, so your customers don't have you. Sorry, I repeated myself a bit there. You can verify the completion of their backups and fix any errors. You can be on the lookout constantly for any errors that you may need to pay attention to or go and fix. You can download reports for your customers and monitor files that are backed up. So on the right-hand side, you'll see this graphs area. You can view a very quick snapshot of how much storage is being used and how many files are being backed up. So while the account usage section on the left is more granular and is indeed by account, the graph section on the right is your total account, so your wholesale account with us. It'll tell you how much storage you're using and how many files you've backed up. Luis wants to know if there is an online demo. There actually is. I can direct you to that at the end of the webinar.
But moreover, Derek is going to do a live demonstration of this entire system in just a couple of minutes. So hang tight, Luis, and I think you'll get what you're looking for.
Indeed, and this recording will be available afterwards as well. You'll be able to go back to it. What else can you do in the partner dashboard that can help you create value for your customers? This is where you can create your accounts for your customers and modify them. You can also install the software remotely, and you can control remote backup policies. You can control your branding here. So see this nice button right here that says rebranding settings? Derek will show you how to use that in the demo. You simply pop it open and upload your logo. We have a good question from Luis. Mac compatibility with Time Machine.
Not with Time Machine, Luis, but the product will back up Mac itself. We've got our own backup agent and an entire system. The Time Machine system is based on a disk image, which generally creates a data payload that's 5 or 6 times greater than what you actually need just to protect the core data. So we don't integrate with Time Machine yet, although that's a really great idea for the roadmap, and I was just scribbling a note to tell Derek to put it on our backlog. So thanks for the great idea.
Excellent. All right, last slide, which tells me now it's time to go to the software and dashboard demo. So I'm going to hand it over to Derek.
And while Derek's getting prepped for his great demo extravaganza, what other questions do you all have? You're a shy crowd this morning. So what are you looking to get out of this webinar? What's the number one thing we can answer here for you today? What's your great burning question that brought you here to this session? I'd love to hear that so we can both A, try and answer it, and B, make sure these webinars are tailored to you, our partners.
Some of you might notice that we've got a new webinar presentation this morning, so I'm definitely working on tweaking it, and I'd love to hear what I could do to potentially make it better for you.
Good questions coming about. let's get through the webinar. Now, some of them all are the demo, and some of them I'll hit through the demo, and then some of them we'll take right afterwards. So keep them coming, guys. Good questions. So first, SOSonlinebackup.com. Here's our website. Good to be familiar with. If we go to quickly get help, because most of you will have some questions after this, we do have a couple ways to get a hold of us. You can call our support staff. You can call this number at the top and talk to a partner specialist. We also have a full knowledge base. Knowledge base is filled out with all the information about our system. So if you want to search for a guide or anything about compression rates, which is one of the questions here, you can look that in pretty quickly. And then once you become a partner, you can actually use this form for our partner advisory community. So you can put in feature requests, see product roadmaps, get access to beta releases, and all sorts of other communication with myself. Ken Shaw loves to participate on the community forums and probably does so more than anyone else, as well as our developers and our support staff. So it's a great place to communicate with us. So let's move right into the dashboard. So again, as Shaylin had said, the dashboard is the center of your world when it comes to the relationship we have with you. It's where you get your news and updates. So if you want to see what's going on with training webinars, introduction to 5.7, we put all of our release notes here. We also have a blog with release notes, and we link to that. At the top here, we have your day-to-day activity items. So your activity alert, what do you need to pay attention to today? You can put your email address or a distribution list or multiple email addresses in here to get a daily digest of what's been going on. So we have a status, an account username, the system name installed on, the backup type, and then backup details. So we take a look at what's actually happened. It's a simple stoplight system, so we can look at indicators for, let's just see all the errors. And these are the ones that you have to respond to today. And again, you get that email every morning. And then you could also just go to any status to see what's going on. You'll also get activity as far as what's happening during a backup. Now, at the end of the month, when you go to get your bill, you need to give your customers some sort of report. So we have backup history reporting. So you can type in a specific account name and just export that report into an Excel file, then throw a quick pivot chart together, and there you go. You have a nice little report to show this is why we're running backups. We also have a company role, which we just added this last spring or early late winter. Companies contain multiple backup accounts. So if you have a company, say here, you can log in as the company and then take a look at just this company's information. So you can either give this login to a particular employee within the company, whether it's another system administrator or executive or office manager, somebody who wants to have access to this. And from here, they can also see their own reporting in progress as far as what's been going on. And then it becomes much simpler if you have multiple backup accounts to export a backup history for everything and provide that to your customers on a regular basis. There's also client messaging. So if this particular company has a requirement for a particular antivirus system, you can use the client messaging system to identify a particular program via registry key to display one image or another. So it's a nice cross-sell and double-check on what's happening when you have your endpoint protection in place. So those of you with companies that have a lot of off-site workers, it's hard to enforce software policies if they're not on your network. And that's one way that you can kind of remind people that that's what they should have. Rebranding settings, very simple. Upload your logo, desktop icon, your banner for the client, all the different URLs that can be clicked by your users. So upgrades, contact us. Where do you want people to go when they're contacting you?
But let's just stop there because Derek's blown past a key point that you can brand everything. So that this entire sort of product platform is 1,200 points of brandability. So if you want to integrate this into your suite of MSP services, the fact that this is rebrandable through and through is key, and you're not going to find that anywhere else. It's just not something that the other vendors invest R&D into, but we've invested millions of dollars into over the years. So if you're looking to add a branded service into a suite of services, this branding functionality that Derek just showed briefly is kind of awesome. And I think we're going to see probably more of that in the demo, Derek.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
So I'm loading up Windows 2008 R2 VM, and we're going to finish the demo here. I'm going to bring up our core product, the Online Backup and Recovery Manager. Give us a minute while the server boots up. All right, some of the questions about compression settings as a support. Well, we do basically anything that WinZip is going to do is about the compression setting we're going to use. So it's going to compress the data as much as possible without losing any quality. So if you have photos or anything of that nature, you can be sure to back them up and recover them with full quality. Myself, I'm a hobbyist photographer, and I do that all the time, and it's no big deal.
And then that's on the baseline files. Gerald, after that we then do daily incrementals using intra-file block delta compression, which is a really fancy way of just saying we compare the files from day to day and extract just the ones and zeros that have changed. So whilst your baseline, you can sort of estimate your baseline going up at 1 to 2 gigs an hour, your incrementals or your daily backups thereafter will take only minutes. So the baseline backup's always a trick with cloud backup, but the dailies will then fly. Lewis, your question about cost and retail price, we don't have a slide on, but we'll definitely discuss. Lewis got another question, do end users have their own login if they want to monitor or review their backups? Absolutely, Lewis. You can actually give that entire dashboard infrastructure that Derek showed to a company, to a client. They can run their whole environment, or you can manage it for them. Some of our partners like to bill it out to their customers and do it all for them. Others like to push it down to their customers, so it really depends on your model. Gerald says, thanks. Do you have any other questions? I mean, keep the questions coming, guys. It'll make this far more educational for you and far more entertaining for us.
All right, in a minute I can show you, go to the web portal. I don't like to do it on the server because the browsers on the server don't like it, but the actual end users do have a individual web portal as well where they can see backup history, machine details, and also browse and recover individual files. So first we log in, and branding happens upon the login. So that's where we see the changes in the banner up here, which I just put a snapshot of South Bay. We're a South Bay company here in El Segundo, California. Down here I put just a little ad that goes to my FileLocker affiliate page. So I did check for a registry key. I just put in a fake one. And now if people see this, they select it, and they'll get taken to a sign-up page for FileLocker. So in the dashboard that we had up before, let me bring it back up, you are all automatically eligible to become for free a FileLocker affiliate. FileLocker is another program we have for file collaboration, secure file collaboration that is, and it's a 20% commission program, so it's a great way to make some additional recurring revenue, and it's also a terrific program that most of your companies probably aren't taking advantage of yet. So moving into creating a backup setup. We have 3 tabs: Backup, Restore, Advanced, and Upgrade Now. So this Upgrade Now button is going to go to the URL that you've specified. If we go to Backup and set up a backup, we have options for File and Folder Backup, File and Folder Local Backup, some local destination. Image Stream Backup for backing up bare metal image files. So if you use Shadow Protect with our service, which is a bare metal image license, then you would use Image Stream to back up those images off-site. And then we have our native Microsoft Exchange 2010 backup. So let's just go through that since that's a new item here. So you open this Exchange. Gerald asks, does the branding include .exe icons as well? Well, the .exe icons are just your install shield icons, and then the desktop icons are rebranded after login.
And I might also add that the branding that Derek's got on this one looks terrible, but it's sort of a whimsical branding that is meant to demonstrate the branding engine's capability. So you're probably not going to stick a photo of South Bay into your branded client. You're probably going to stick your header with your logo on. But the cross-promotional ad that Derek demo is pretty cool too. So going back to that branding being a key part of this, top-of-desktop awareness and brand exposure for your services brand on the desktop of your customers and in email reports is a really key feature here, notwithstanding the particular imagery we're using in today's demo.
Right. And the messaging you could also use just to have it point to a like my Facebook page or like my other LinkedIn page, whatever you want to do. It's really up to you where you want that to link. So here we have the Exchange backup options for the schedule as far as when we're going to run the full backup and when we're going to run the incremental and at what time. We can run the backup even when Windows user is not logged on, which is going to be very common. You're going to need to put in your Windows domain credentials, and that runs for the file and folder backup as well. You run the backup at the end of the wizard or send email reports to multiple addresses as well. These are separate reports that are usually used for end users. They're only sent upon a finished backup, whereas the monitoring event history is where most of you will live. That's going to send you information as far as a backup has not run, a backup hasn't run in a certain amount of days, or it's run with some errors. So we'll finish this backup, and that's fine. Let's go through a quick file and folder backup. So this first has a scanner option, so you can have scanner settings here. Now these scanner settings can also be controlled. So for your endpoint deployments, we have an MSI where you can take a look at, oh, sorry, wrong browser. So we have an MSI that you can download here, and if you search through our knowledge base for MSI, you can see instructions on how to deploy this across an entire network. Now once you do that, that's great, and then you really want to be able to control the backup policies from the dashboard. You do that by going to a remote backup policies option. Yes, all the loose asks other support for multiple emails for notifications. Yes, every email report that we have in our system, whether it's the monitoring reports from the dashboard or the reports from the backup from each machine, you can put in as many email addresses as you like, just separate with a comma. So here we can create a backup policy. You can give it a policy name, and you see it has the same options as far as enable the scanner setting. So for most of your endpoints, this is a really good way to enforce certain things as far as what you want to have backed up or not backed up. So if you don't want music files to be backed up, then you can deselect that. If you don't want all images, then you can deselect that. Video, whatever it is that you need to control. This is important because a lot of times your users can add things to your backup set, and this policy overrides any locally set settings. So this is a really simple way to do that. And then again, control your email backup reports from here as well. So you'd save this, and then you would apply it to a particular backup account in a particular machine through our account management section. Again, we run a more detailed and thorough training on this every week. So the next one's actually tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific. If you need to register, go to SOS Online Backup, and then go to the bottom where it says Webinars, and register for our next webinar. So I'm going to get back to running a backup here. So you can scan all folders, scan just my personal documents, which will cover most people. You can also go into custom settings to add or remove folders. And then we have our backup set. You can come in through the tree view and add more files if you like. Next, we run a backup, and then we can see the upload agent with all the new details that we've added in this last release.
And while that's running, just a few quick questions. Scott Miller asks if he can resell File Locker like he does SOS. Scott, absolutely. Shaylin and Carla here are going to write your name down and walk it over to Brian Berlin. We'll have your account manager get in touch with you about that. And Lewis is asking if you can there's support for multiple email notifications. Lewis, yes, there is. It's commented limited or semicolon delimited lists.
All right, so let's go through our server backup options. So we just showed you the Exchange backup with native technology. Now this requires a bare metal backup license. So those of you in the next tier would use a license for this. You hit backup. Oh, let's first check to make sure we don't have a backup job scheduled, and then I can show you all the options. So let's backup, and this is a disk level or partition level backup. So you select your E drive or your F drive, your C drive, whatever it is, and it's going to back up everything in this to a StorageCraft backup file on an SPF. So Shadow Protect Full or SPI, Shadow Protect Incremental. So we select our E drive, and we put this to any location we like. Go to my backup location. Then weekly, do full backup or incremental backup throughout the week. This is very common. If you're going to go off-site with it, though, you really want to make sure you're doing a continuous incremental. This is a unique option, and it's really the only viable option if you want to go off-site with your bare metal image backups, as these files can be large. It does use VSS, so if you're going to be trialing this, make sure you're installing it at a time that you can restart the machine. We hit next, and we have compression methods here. So we use standard compression, which is the same as what we talked about before, Gerald. And then if you go high, then you'll get another 10 to 15 points compression, and it'll take a little longer. So it depends what type of option you have. And then below, we just saw a little pop-up for a notification of a new software client. So that's a little demo of our update function. So when you get an update available, you'll get a little pop-up notification. We'll also put a notification through the client deck, the partner dashboard. So be sure to subscribe to that. You can password protect your local backups. You're going to run this bare metal image backup to some local network destination. You can password protect it, which if you're looking for HIPAA compliance, you would need to. So you come here, go to advanced, and then you set the encryption level to 128-bit AES, which is the minimum required for HIPAA compliance for local backups. There's also some different advanced options for running pre-snapshot and post-snapshot commands. If you need to put a little bat file to shut down some older systems that don't support VSS, you can do that. You can split the images into smaller chunks, which we recommend. About 5 gigs is a good way to go about it. Hit finish, and now you have bare metal backups going off-site. We showed you how to set up the online backup. Let's go into the Exchange granular, or let's go to a recovery of a bare metal image backup. So we'll open up our backup destination, so backup drive F. We don't need a program listed here. So I just right-click right in Windows Explorer, hit Quick Mount, and here on the left, we'll see a new virtual drive mounted in a couple of seconds. There we go, Exchange Drive G, and it's going to pop me right into it. And now we have all the data from that point in time. So very quick recovery to a virtual drive, which is why we recommend a staging machine setup, which we go over in our training session tomorrow. Then with this Exchange data, what do you want to do with that? That's where we bring in Exchange granular recovery.
And let me just pause there. We're not having any questions on these detailed demos, the clients, the bare metal backup, the Exchange granular recovery. Is this what you folk want to hear about? You know, is a detailed drill into the client-side technology where you want to go? Gerald says yes. Alex says yes.
All right. Well,
no. I'm not letting them off the hook just that easily. That being the case, fellas, keep asking some questions. You know, the best way for us to explain this properly is to really do it Q&A style. So ask us questions about what you're seeing and what you'd like to understand about it.
Okay, so let's finish up this quick last part of the demo, then we can talk about pricing and any questions you have after you see these. So Exchange Drive G, we open this up to go get our Exchange database file, and then by selecting this, it's automatically going to identify the transaction logs. We hit OK, and up here in the source, it's going to populate the recovered information from this EDB file. So the demo flow we just went through was a little backwards, but we either backed up Exchange directly with our technology, or we recovered from a bare metal image file, and then we took the EDB that we recovered, whether online or from the bare metal image, and we're now opening it in Exchange granular recovery. So here we have a list of all of our users and mailboxes, so I can start searching through here for particular items if I like. So let's say user 1 comes into you and says, you know, there's some email and it had, you know, some attachment called management something or other. I don't know who it was from or when it was sent or what it was about, but I need it yesterday. Can you help me? It's going to make me $1 million. So yeah, okay, let's see what you got. Hit Find Now. You can browse through, you know, different mailboxes. Maybe we just want to search through everything. So we hit OK. Let's find again. And we have all these options. And based on this information, user still doesn't know what's going on. So unlike other systems, we do a quick double click, gives us a quick preview of the email. You see the attachment and just the one. He says, yes, you're amazing. How fast can you get that to me? You say, okay, no problem. So we open up our target destination, so our live Exchange server. This is going to authenticate or authorize based on your Windows admin credentials.
And Lewis, this is directly in answer to your question being, can the target be the live Exchange server? That's what Derek's recovering to right now.
Perfect. So I hit close, so it's approved me to have access to the live Exchange server. So I go to user 1, here's his inbox, and I'll take this message and I just drag and drop it right into his inbox. And that's recovered. Now in the same, we can take this whole user 1 and just drag and drop it over, or we can take the whole EDB and drag it onto the new hardware. If we hit OK, it'll say, do you want to create mailboxes that don't already exist? We hit yes and move on, but for time's sake and some of the other questions we have, we won't do that right now. What's also nice is that I can search through the live Exchange database, right? So I'm already authenticated as an Exchange admin. So I go to browse and it sees I'm on the target server. So let's say maybe that attachment, someone comes to you and says, I sent out an attachment to somebody as about management guide, and nobody should have seen that. I was calling somebody names and I didn't edit it out. Please find it. So we bring this and we can shift select all these files, right click, it's not done searching, but we can right click and delete this file if we need to. And that deletes it right from the live Exchange server. So with Exchange Granular Recovery, you're not just getting a really simple and easy to use recovery system that can go down as whatever object you want to recover, notes, outbox items, junk emails, journal entries. I don't know who uses that in Outlook. But you can also manage your live Exchange server a bit from here too. So it's a great program and very simple to use. Also
tremendous for migration scenarios. So if you're migrating from maybe 2K7 to 2K10, then EGR is wonderful for that. It really does make moving Exchange data, whether it's from an archive or a backup, back to live or from live to live, really simple. Couple of questions here to answer quickly. Alex asks, any CBTs available to partners for training? I don't know what a CBT is, Alex, but we've got extensive training options. You tell me what a CBT is, and Derek will just talk briefly about the training options.
Certified Backup Technician. Yeah, that sounds good.
But let's talk about the training options that we've got.
So I actually, with our sales engineer, we host a backup training as well as a file locker training every week. So this week it's going to be tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do record all these trainings, so those are available.
And where are they available, Derek?
They're available on our main website. So if we go to SOS Online Backup.
Let's go there right now and just show the good folks where these resources are.
We go back to sosonlinebackup.com. You scroll to the bottom, hit live webinars, and you have recorded versions available here. We go to attend a webinar, then we have a schedule available here. Through the partner dashboard, we do have some recordings available through the Partner Resource Center. So if you open up the Partner Resource Center, we do have videos available here. And then we update this on a weekly basis. Also, if you need to schedule a time that doesn't meet and you need a run-through, feel free to contact our support team and to say you need some help setting up an initial backup or setting up the system, and they can schedule a time just for you to go through the setup and run through the whole system. Again, the webinars, the one tomorrow morning, should be great. There's a question, do you have an option to bare metal back to a separate USB drive? I think we showed that, so we just ran it to a NAS device. But yeah, any device that Windows can see, you can run it to. We recommend actually going to some staging machine, so some desktop or server on your network, and that should be your local backup. So again, in summary, with all the different options we have for online backup, we give you the ability to provide your customers with a full backup solution, not just a single strategy in backup, but everything, from your mobile devices to your laptops, your workstations, whether they're on-site or off-site, and your servers. And you can do the server backup at a full image level or just getting the data, depending on what kind of server it is, and all this under one hood. So it simplifies your internal training. You don't have to get trained on multiple companies. You don't have to deal with multiple support companies. If you can deal with support through this company and this company just to do bare metal and then your file backup, or local and off-site, you come through one company for all your support training needs, all your support needs in general, and all your software and licensing. Question, mobile support for BlackBerry 10. Not yet. We'll see when. I know BlackBerry's big in Canada still. You guys have been holding on to that thread for a while. but we do have mobile support as a major part of our goal for the company and our services.
Yeah, but the honest truth, Lewis, is going to be that we'll watch BlackBerry 10 carefully, and if it does gain traction, we'll have a client for it. If it doesn't, we won't. So we're in a bit of a wait and see with BlackBerry 10.
All right, any other questions? For more information about the program, it's good to get in touch with our partner specialists. They'll be able to help you out with any questions you may have. Get you pricing information, everything you need. And real quickly before we go, I want to show everyone just a quick glimpse into what the partner community forums look like, because those are the types of feature requests that we really bang on. So I actually put a large part of our priorities and our training and our roadmap behind the needs of the community. So we've so far delivered about 30% of all the items that have been deemed important by the community. The other great part about it is that it also gives backing to what you're telling us is important. So now no longer it's not just your voice, it's the voice of the entire community. So here we have the Partner Advisory Community, or the PAC. So we like to call you the PAC men and women of SOS, or InfoScale. So we post our product roadmap, backup features and requests. So we see we have 85, and we have these that are voted. So the top voted ones you see are mostly green, and then we have some bigger items that we'll tell you what's in here. And you see that Ken Shaw Jr., Derek Wood, Ken Shaw Jr. So Ken is all over this thing, and it's a great way to actually have direct communication with the CEO of the company of the service you're using. So it's a great way to go through and get these types of the features and items here. I've got to ask, I know you can't speak specifically, but in general, how does SOS pricing compare to other solutions like Mozy, for example? Well, if you're looking at a consumer backup solution, it's hard to be in that commodity market. Are most of your users consumers? When we provide features like all the monitoring and reporting, server backup, we really actually start putting comparisons against Mozy and the like.
Well, Scott's selling to businesses. So Scott, firstly, Derek's right. You shouldn't really be comparing yourself to Mozy. And if your customers are asking you about Mozy, you've got a bit of customer education to do to talk to them about their need for a business backup solution rather than a fairly low-rent consumer-grade solution. Having said that, if you're a wholesaler of ours, you can buy from us at a sufficiently low level that you could underprice Mozy if you wanted to. I don't think it would be a smart business strategy. It wouldn't be the highest margin way for you to sell, but you could actually beat Mozy out on price if you wanted to, and with a vastly superior product. And Shaylin can talk more specifically to some of the pricing in a moment, but generally with us, our backup partner program was always referred to as a wholesale model, and true to sort of the origins of that word, the more you bought, the cheaper it got. So if you buy, for example, 5 terabytes or 10 terabytes from us, you're buying it at a price where you can easily beat up Mozy on price as well as function.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that. I think Ken said function last, but function is actually most important. Price, of course, is.
I said function first and then so the key thing is customer education. If customers are looking at Mozy for business-grade backup, they need to understand that you get what you pay for, that that's a penny-wise and pound-foolish decision, and that when they go to do their recovery, there's a 80% chance some of their data won't be recoverable, and if they want to play chicken with some of their most important business assets, then Mozy's a great solution. But if they want real protection, they should work with you. Then I went to price.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that, and I apologize for the misdirection. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, two of the most critical things are the unlimitedness of our endpoint and basic server backup, as well as unlimited archiving. Those are super critical business functions that your business customers are going to need. Now, that being said, you can enter the program at $299 per month, and that gives you 1 terabyte as well as the partner dashboard, special partner support, 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. It gives you the Partner Resource Center. It gives you, of course, access to your account manager on an ongoing basis, and they will help you with pricing. They'll help you with pitching. They sell online backup all day, too, so they're the perfect people to be helping you sell your online backup solution. Along with that, you do get a number of features that are not included in our other retail products, such as unlimited file server backup. I know that's very basic. We don't include it in our other products so that you can have exclusive access to it. Now, after that entry point, as you add on terabytes, you'll be able to do so for $99 per month. So your entry point, your basic entry point is $299 per month. After that, you can add on terabytes for just $99 per month. So the more that you grow, the ultimately more that you'll save. Hopefully that was helpful to everybody, and your partner specialist will talk to you about what exactly is in your business and what exactly you need to what features you need in order to be successful. So do you need bare metal backup? They'll find the right plan for you. Do you need to start with 3 terabytes? They'll customize that plan for you. You'll go through that with them and identify the perfect plan.
We've got some more questions here. Gerald asks, do we have an end-user demo that we can show prospects? That's a great idea, Gerald, and Carl and Shaylin, make a note of this because we can pump that out easily for Gerald and others. Gerald, all of our videos are generally SOS targeted. There are a bunch of videos that are done with the generic client, which is not well positioned on our website, and I have difficulty finding it, and ostensibly I know it pretty well. But there is a page with a bunch of videos that are done with the generic the generic client that you could use with your customers. We don't have a good pitch video though, but it's easy for us to create one. So Shaylin and Carla have faithfully written that down, and no doubt there'll be an update in the dashboard in the weeks to come. So good idea. Rick asks, when getting a bare metal image off-site takes what kind of time? Rick, you ask about getting it up to the cloud or getting it back from the cloud? Up to the cloud, it's going to run at roughly 2 gigabytes per megabit of dedicated bandwidth. If you've got a 10 meg connection, it's going to go up to 20 gigs an hour. So, a 40 gig file is going to take 2 hours. On the downstream, you can usually double or triple that, depending upon what sort of network situation you've got. Scott says, we've handled Scott's question. Okay, Scott's got another question though. If a prospect goes to get pricing directly from SOS, I assume the retail pricing quoted is higher, but what will that be? Scott, the retail pricing for the solution that you guys are selling is higher. I don't have it top of head, but for example, what does Ashwin sell the SOS Advanced product for? Shaylin?
It's a great question. I don't have that one top of head either. I have what is on the website, which of course you could reference as well. And
although that's a really poor comparison because the product that our partners sell is substantially more powerful than the product we're selling through our site. So, Scott, for your edification, we've neutered the product that we're selling retail so that we're not competing directly with our partners. The product you get is a Ferrari to our retail products Volkswagen, if you'll entertain my metaphor. Any other questions from anybody? We used to raffle off a Kindle for the best question asked, and you were a lot chattier back when we did that. Here's a question I have for you lot. What's the coolest thing you saw today? So as we help shape our marketing messaging, and Carla's here, our online marketing manager, although she hasn't said hello. Carla, say hello.
Hi, guys.
She's sitting here studying your responses to figure out the best messaging we can use. So help us. What's the coolest thing you saw today? What's the coolest thing about our product or our program or what we offer to our partners? Is it a roadmap that you can shape? Is it direct engagement with executives? Is it bare metal backup technology that you can replicate to the cloud? Is it the totality, the one ring to rule them all? Lewis says the exchange recovery, the granular recovery. Rick says total solution, BMR, file folder, single source. So Rick's going with the Lord of the Rings. Gerald says he likes EGR. Gabor also likes Lord of the Rings, the total solution.
Or maybe they just like the fact that we're still using Lord of the Rings as a reference to our service.
I'm really not sure how that went over with the audience, to be honest.
I think they were mostly disappointed in my lack of familiarity with the series.
I think we're all disappointed in that.
Scott says total solution and potential integration with FireLocker. Gabor asks, is the mobile site brandable as well? Gabor, yes, absolutely. There's a mobile portal that's fully brandable, and then there are generic mobile clients that we make available to you so you can quickly be selling a mobile product. And there's a rebrandable Android product which you can get on an ad hoc basis and reach out to Derek Wood to do that. So you can have a fully branded Android client, a kind of vanilla branded iPhone client,
and then a fully branded mobile website. Rick says total solution is most important to the VAR. Okay.
That's right. Anyone interested in APIs? Any of you have web development experience or resources on hand? As we do have a full set of APIs that are available to you. So if you wanted to integrate into a merchant system so that you can have online billing for your customers, you can do that. We also just released monitoring and reporting APIs so you can plug into a PSA or an RMM. So there's a lot of API work that's going to be coming out of the InfraScale product team in the next few months.
A few more questions rolling in.
Lewis asked, the mobile backup run only using Wi-Fi? Lewis, it can run over both Wi-Fi or a WAN connection, like sort of a 3G or 4G connection, but it warns prior to going on the 4G because it can suck up data allowance. Scott says also important to enable better security. Scott, I assume by that you mean that we're the gold standard when it comes to security, and if that is in fact what you meant, then I wholeheartedly agree. But could you clarify your comment? Oh, Scott says yes, brilliant. You're obviously an astute observer, Scott. Scott asked about Autotask integration. It's on the roadmap. I would say it's a couple of months away from a realistic general release, but if you hang out in the pack, you'll probably get a beta of it a lot sooner than that. How many of you are in the pack? I mean, only some of you on the line are actually current partners, but how many of you are actively involved with the partner advisory community? We're getting question marks from the audience. Well, I've got to leave this webinar, so thanks, folks, for entertaining my incredibly disruptive presence. So I'll leave Derek and Shaylin to explain what the pack is, but to me, it's probably the most important resource that partners of our company have. So I encourage you to pay attention for the next 45 seconds and really get involved.
Right. So to get a part of the pack, that was the feature request section that we showed with the green lights and the yellow lights as far as what's planned, what's not. It's a terrific resource for us to know what we should build. So again, we do about at least 15 to 20% of prioritization based on the feedback from the partner community. And we also publish what we're going to be working on month to month in the partner community. So if you need to get that, you go to sosonlinebackup.com, select Get Help, and then go to our knowledge base. When you get to our knowledge base, you're going to want to go to sign up at the top and create an account here in our knowledge base. So this is actually Zendesk that we're using. Once you're created, just submit a ticket to support requesting to be added to the pack, and we'll add you very quickly. And then the advantage, again, is you get a whole level of forum participation. So feature requests for file locker, feature requests for backup. We put a collaborate beta open. We do pre-release builds as well. So as we released our native exchange backup, we put an open beta up in first thing January. And we took about a month's worth of feedback and the UI and the user flow and the features before we released the first version. And we're, of course, continuing to do that. And it's also a great way to get an idea of what our roadmap looks like. So I actually need to update this week. But we tell you what we're about to, what we've released as of the last one, and then the items that we're looking at releasing next. So this is a great way to be a part of this, and you see the different articles and discussions here. And it's really helpful for me as well. You know, when we talk about new features, I even post up wireframes, mock-ups, and get your feedback on everything from the UI to the user flows to the actual feature and function. So we love if you would get in here and get started. We also have an issue and bug report. So there are, occasionally there are some issues that are hard to identify, and this has been a terrific resource for us in getting the community to really come together and help identify where these issues are resolving, especially if you're going through support and support says it's on the roadmap and you're still trying to find it, or it's still in the works. It's a great way to do that. Or if you just want to see if anyone else is running into the same issue. So if you're having configuration issues, whatever the case may be. And then there's a general form to start up anything. So how do you manage your allotted space, account lockout on overages? So this has been a big discussion, about 12 different comments on that alone. Managing allotted space, 21 comments, 38 comments on our direct model as well. So we are not shy about talking about that. We're aware. And all sorts of information. So go to help, sign up, submit a ticket, and ask to be added to the pack. All right, I think that's a good point to end here. If you have any more questions, contact your partner specialist. If you don't have one, just call on the general line, 877-896-3611, extension 1 for sales, and they'll be able to answer any questions you have about the program. And if it's more of a technical question, then you can either start at support or they can put you in contact with our sales engineering resources or with a support agent. So thank you again, and for those of you who are going to be at tomorrow's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. training webinar, we're going to go in depth into, again, how to get help, and then it's going to be some changes that we've seen in 5.7 from version 5.5 and 5.6, and just right into bare metal backup and recovery strategies. So thanks, and have a good day.